way to tell whether there are good aliens or bad aliens, or is there any way to contact or places to go where you can see them that are, like you said?
I can't take the responsibility of telling you who is good and who is bad because I can't make that determination. There's so much lies and so much deception mixed in with the good aliens and the bad aliens that I cannot determine who is who and what is what and what is deception and what is reality. And I advise all of you to take extreme caution in making any kind of judgment, because the bad ones will present themselves to you as being good to manipulate you. The good ones will lie to you to manipulate you to reach their ends, which they think is good for you. Some of them have a policy that they won't interfere with you no matter what. They just won't have anything to do with us. Now, somebody sent up a note that says, I am very concerned about the statement you made that there is deception coming from good and bad. What deception is coming from good ETs? Is this possibly a lack of spiritual understanding on your part? No, it's a part of in-depth investigation and questioning and finding out the truth rather than accepting what I hear and what I see. That is what is the result of. For instance, would you say that the good aliens who led the Jewish tribes out of Egypt were good or bad? Why? Didn't they save them? Didn't they lead them? Didn't they give them food? Didn't they give them water? But they saved them, didn't they? Didn't they save them? Wouldn't you say that was a good act? But how did they accomplish it? They deceived them. They said that they were God. The aliens that came to Earth in the ancient times told the people they were gods. Generally, they helped them, but they deceived them, they lied. I'm not capable of telling what's a lie and what's a deception, and I still believe in God. I still believe in Jesus. I'm a devout Christian. But I know that much of what is in the Bible is of alien origin because I have done my research, and it is without a doubt that much of our religious history is alien manipulation. I still believe in God. I still believe in Jesus Christ. I am still a Christian. I'm hanging on to my faith. Because I believe that they have used our faith and the truth in some way to manipulate us into whatever way they wanted us to go. I think they wanted to hasten our cultural and our civilization into a development in a right direction. But they did it by deceiving us, which is not good. The person who is deceived ultimately finds out that they have been deceived. And when they find out they've been deceived, they ultimately hate the person that deceived them. And that is the ultimate end result of deception. Yes, ma'am?
I have a couple of things. First, I have a copy of what you're selling.
Uh-huh.
And I sent it to the senator, and I sent it to the king, and I sent it to the Supreme Court, and I haven't heard the answer. I would like to know what else you have that I can do to send something.
Write a letter in your own handwriting expressing your own fears and concerns, and then follow it with a phone call and demand an answer.
I told them that I wanted to.
You have to
I expected
keep,
an answer.
you must continue doing that. As other people begin to do it with you, they are going to be forced to answer. I did the same thing you did. Only I sent 536 copies to every senator, every representative. I got 6 answers. 5 of those answers said that they were sending the information in my letters to my congressman as a congressional courtesy. The 6th letter was from my congressman saying, I don't know what this is all about. I never received anything. Yes, ma'am.
And when I go to tell people about what you wrote, I mean, I want everyone here to know. I mean, I almost felt like I had an ulcer. Nobody would believe me. They told I was negative. What are you doing talking about this negative stuff in the planet? You're crazy. There's no aliens.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. What are you doing?
No one knows about that better than myself and John Lear. We've been called kooks. We've been called mentally deranged. We have been laughed at. Would they make jokes about us on television and on radio? I don't care.
No, I don't care either.
I'm going to persist until we get results. The reason we're not getting results now is because you and I are the only ones writing. You and I. When he and she and he and he and her and she and everybody in here starts writing and their friends start writing and calling, then what do you think is going to happen? They're going to answer, but not until. Not until. That's why we need all of you with us. We need you marching right alongside of us. Ma'am, I care more about this country and the Constitution of the United States than I do about my life, because if they succeed in what they have planned for us, I would rather be dead. And also, I was raised that if you know you're right, you stand up and fight no matter what happens. No matter what happens. That's got to be done. John Wayne taught me that.
That's pretty far-reaching now, though.
Yes, sir.
How many races are you aware of?
How many what?
Different races are you aware
I am only personally aware of 4.
What is it?
That's what's called the EVs. The Long-Nosed Greys, which came here from Mars, which we have a treaty with, the group called the Nordic, and the group called the Orange.
Okay, at the time that our government made the contract with the Long-Nosed Greys, weren't they offered a alternative with a more, quote, benevolent
Yes.
group? And
If you move into a new neighborhood, okay, and I belong to one gang and she belongs to another gang. She's a very nice looking lady, isn't she? And she comes up and tells you, hey man, you moved into this neighborhood, watch out for old Bill over there. Bill's mean. But I'll help you and I'll protect you. And I won't let Bill do anything to you, provided you get rid of all your knives and guns and don't ever lock your doors. What are you going to do?
I'm probably going to go with you.
There you go. See, I think they made the right decision when they turned down the initial offer, because they were faced with so many uncertainties and so many different things happening, and alien races from other planets. I mean, my God, I look at the technology that they have, and you want us to disarm? Are you got bats in your belfry? I think at that time their decision was right. Their decision to sell drugs to the American people was wrong. Their decision to make a treaty with an alien race without the advice and consent of the Senate under the Constitution was wrong. It's illegal. Lying to the American people all these years, manipulating us, controlling us, literally ripping up the Constitution and putting it in Ollie North's shredder is wrong. All based upon an assumption that if we knew the truth, we would flip out. And that a small handful of men know better how to run this country than the people of this country do. And they are all part of a group who wants to subvert the Constitution in the first place to create a one-world economic system under a one-world government with a very few people at the top holding all the power and all the money, holding all the strings.
Just on the original alien intent. Seeds planted.
The aliens planted those seeds, yes, over 250 years ago. Yes.
What about, two questions, what about Admiral Byrd's papers? Has anyone ever gone into those? Are they still sealed?
Ma'am, with all due respect, we must stick to the most pressing problems at first. Right now, confronted with what we're confronted with,
I thought maybe that.
I can't be concerned with a hole at the pole.
I thought
I'm
maybe that
very
was
serious.
race in there too. I don't know.
Well, it may have something to do with it, but I'm not aware of anything that yes.
You talked earlier about a lot of people who've been abducted and have been implanted, have moved away from their residence and are grouped together in other places. How do you see that fitting into the picture?
The people who have been abducted and implanted have some ultimate mission. We know that. They are compelled to move to certain places. Some of them are compelled to stay in the same place. When their mate, if they're married, resists, they leave their mate. That's how much they're compelled to do it. There have been people who've left their children, women who've left their children, which is totally against the paternal instinct. I mean, the maternal instinct. It's just totally against it. Women just don't do that sort of thing. It's not, there's a level of mind control at work here that is terribly disconcerting. They are implanted, they have a specific goal to accomplish in the future, and most of them know that they have something that they're supposed to do, but they don't know what it is, and we don't either. The government is terribly afraid that when somebody pulls a switch sometime in the future, these abductees are going to go out and cripple the communications and blow up bridges and cripple the government. The government's afraid of this. I don't think that's what it's about. It may be what it's about, but it concerns me that the abductees are seeing an obvious criminal act as being a good thing. For instance, they're asleep in their bed. Someone comes and kidnaps them out of their bed. These people that kidnap them are so different than us that it's got to strike total fear into them. They are totally paralyzed, immobile. Now, most people have never been totally helpless in their life. And I'm telling you that that is the greatest terror that you will ever feel, is when you are totally helpless and you know it. Now, these people are taken into an alien environment in a craft that floats in the air. In a round room, and they all describe this room exactly the same. There is no difference between the descriptions. None of them know the other. Most of them have never heard of abductions or UFOs or spacecraft or aliens or anything. They've never read these books. And until just a few years ago, there weren't any books to read about abductions, because this is a recent thing that's been coming out. So we know that they're telling us the truth. We've hypnotically regressed them. We have tons of evidence and descriptions, and the stories are always the same. And sperm and ova is harvested from them. Scoops of flesh are taken out of their body, which leave pock marks. They are surgically operated upon. They are implanted. Some females are impregnated. After the end of the first trimester, they're abducted again, and the fetus is taken from them. And the abductees perceive this experience as having been a good experience, and no harm was done to them. Yet, and this is their conscious mind talking, listen to what their subconscious mind is telling them. Their subconscious mind is causing them to exhibit all of the same symptoms of a rape victim or a hostage victim who has been held for a long time, commonly called the Patty Hearst syndrome, where you begin to identify with your captors. Now, this is obviously great physical and emotional and spiritual harm has been done to these people. Yet their mind has been controlled to the extent that they perceive this experience as having been a good one. That deeply concerns me. I don't know about you, but I'm really concerned about that. And they are and have been given some task to perform in the future. They know that they have this job to do. They don't know what it is they're supposed to do. Some of them have been given tremendous knowledge that they never possessed before, never learned in school, don't even know what it is that they know in a lot of instances. Yes, ma'am.
Each one here needs to know that we are sovereign beings under God, and we have the right to say no.
That's right.
To invoke in the name of God that you don't want to be abducted, that you cannot take me against my free will. And if you find yourself unable to speak in such a situation, mentally make that declaration, and they cannot take you under universal law.
What she's saying is true, and people who have done that and really believed in what they were saying have not been abducted. People who have tried to pull that off and really didn't believe what they were saying were taken anyway.
The implantation, is it physical or psychological?
It's physical. It has been detected and proven to exist by magnetic resonance imaging. You do need, when you're checking this to find the implants, you do need a medical doctor or a surgeon who is adept at finding small foreign objects in the human body, such as a physician who gained experience in the Vietnam War locating small shrapnel fragments in the human body and removing them. They are the ones who can find these implants the quickest.
Has this implant ever been found?
Yes, many of them have been found. An Audi automobile, license number LA MER is blocking. Need to move that automobile. Yes, sir. Yellow shirt.
Yeah, what about transfers of technology? You know, it strikes me that the government, everybody be interested in these technologies down the road, you know.
You use a lot of it every day.
Okay, a lot of it's already
A
transferred.
lot of it is filtered out from the national laboratories into the defense industrial complex and then out to the public.
Are they working on other, you read about power sources for these things, or air engines and water engines, are they working on that to stop the air pollution?
They are not working on anything until the oil is gone. The oil companies are owned by, guess who? Yes, sir.
What do you have, a couple things, what do you have to say on the Pleiades? And also, has there been any discoveries of aliens that look exactly like people?
Yes, the Nordic and the orange both look like people.
I mean, you couldn't tell them from one person to
No, I wouldn't go that far. They look enough that they could pass if they want to. And the Nordic are described as being very beautiful. Very beautiful people, blue eyes, blonde hair.
Where do they come from?
The Nordic, I don't know where they come from.
All right, well, let's talk about the Pleiades.
Where do you come from? That is the
What's the
question.
average height?
Ladies and gentlemen, he brought up a good point. I want to know about the Pleiades group. I want to tell you right now that the Billy Myers case is a real case. It is not a phony case. It is not a hoax. It is real. It is absolutely real. The documents that you saw with the string in it, all of that was prepared by the Office of Naval Intelligence. The model was built and placed in his barn, and photographers were sent up there with intelligence agents who opened the barn door and said, see, the Billy Myers case is real. The Pleiadian people are real. The craft are real. Some of their craft we have at Area 51 and are flying them. I have on videotape right now with me here tonight, if you want me to, I can show it to you.
Yes.
Evidence right before your very eyes that will prove to you that these craft on this videotape are real. And you can see for yourself, there's no way possible that these photographs can be fake.